Hi, Claire Downham, Queen of Calm here, Transformational Life Coach with the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. And today I'm talking about mindfulness and particularly mindfulness activities. Some time ago, I used to teach mindfulness activities to adults and children. With the idea that they could learn to be more present, which is great because in actual fact, if you want to feel calm, if you want to think clearly, the present moment is where it's at. And you probably have noticed that because you will have noticed times when you have fallen naturally into the present moment all by yourself without any mindfulness activities. But there's a lot out there, isn't there, in terms of the idea of learning through mindfulness activities to be in the present moment. Now, I recently looked up the definition of mindfulness, and I was really interested to see that there are two definitions that come up when you Google mindfulness on the internet. Well, where else would you Google something? So I'm just going to get them up because I'm going to read them word for word. I don't want to get them wrong. So the first one is that mindfulness is the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. And the other one, the second definition, is a mental state achieved by focusing one's attention on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts and bodily sensations, used as a therapeutic technique. I don't know about you, but that second one is a bit of a mouthful, and it seems like it's quite a bit to do. It sounds like there's a process to go through, that there is a something to do. Now, if you've learnt some mindfulness activities and you have found them to be beneficial, wow, that's brilliant. But maybe you've found that as you've learnt these mindfulness activities and you've ended up with a list of them to carry around with you, not necessarily a physical list, but a mental list of things that you could do to bring yourself into the present, a list of mindfulness activities, you may well have found that feeling like another thing to do, another thing to think about, another thing to remember, when possibly in the physical world, right now, you have got enough to think about. You have got enough to do, and you are tired of doing things to help yourself feel better. I have to say that was my experience. Mindfulness activities, as well as all the other things I was doing, became an awful lot to do in order to manage my feeling state. I love the first definition there. I'm going to pull it up again so I can see it. The quality of or state of being conscious or aware of something. The quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. Now it turns out that something could be the thoughts buzzing round your head. It turns out that something could be the feeling that you're feeling right now when you don't feel so good. Because it is just about bringing some conscious awareness to that which you are experiencing. Now, the caveat to that is that there is no judgment. There is no righting or wronging any of that. So it turns out the most simple mindfulness activity is pure conscious awareness without judgment. And it also turns out that you don't need to do a course to be able to experience that. You don't need to learn all those mindfulness activities. You don't need to spend weeks and weeks being trained to do that. You don't have to carry around the list with you all the time. It is possible to experience being mindful as a noun, because that's who you are. It is an essence, not a doing. It's possible to experience that just by bringing some awareness to what is going on right now. And I love this little series of questions that I share. And I share this sometimes with my clients too. That there are just a few questions you can ask yourself, internally or out loud, whatever works for you, to just help yourself fall back into that present moment. Now, those questions may seem like something else to remember, but when you hear them, you will see they're not really like a mindfulness activity. They are a bringing of awareness to something. So it might be nice right now for you to just sit quietly and listen to these questions and notice what pops up as the answer to them. So the first question is, are you concentrating or are you focused right now on what you can see right in front of you, what is actually visible in the space around you? Or are you looking at or imagining a scary future or a horrible past or something that upset you earlier today? Is that where you're thinking? Is that where you are looking? Is that what you are looking at? Just noticing that. There's nothing wrong with either. There's no right or wrong answer here. And then, are you listening to what is actually going on around you right now? Or are you listening to the terrible story inside your head of something to do with the past or the future? And the third question is, again, another either or question. Are you feeling where you are right now? Or are you feeling the uncomfortable feelings that are coming from that thinking that you may have noticed before? Now, it turns out that when you just ask yourself those questions, there is something wonderful that happens. And there's a beautiful Eckhart Tolle quote that I'm going to probably now misquote, but I'll have a go. That the moment you notice you are not in the present moment, you can't help but fall into the present moment. It's almost like when you're caught up and you're overthinking and you're feeling that feeling of overwhelm, that it's like you've got your foot on a hose pipe. The flow of what's naturally meant to flow through you can't flow because you've got your foot on the hose pipe and you're stopping it moving. And the moment you ask those questions, you're taking your foot off the hose pipe and you're allowing the natural flow of thought to happen again. Because that is your natural state, to be flowing from moment to moment without mindfulness activities. Here in this space on the Calmcast, I am guiding you to let go, to subtract, not to add in any more things to do. And mindfulness activities will be one of those things. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you can see now that you don't really need lots and lots of mindfulness activities to feel calm and think clearly. It can happen so easily and so naturally. So I'm Claire Downham, Queen of Calm, Transformational Life Coach, and this has been the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. Thank you and take care.